folks. Everyone is in here. Ah, we got a recording in progress. Good job.
Sorry, I forgot to hit the thing.
That's all right. Hopefully the people who missed it will be able to pick up from there. So anyway, raffle tickets are already in a bucket that we're going to be drawing from. Door prize tickets. You can't call them a raffle on a cruise. I keep forgetting that. Anyway, tell them that their door prize tickets are already in there. They can just leave them right where they are. They don't have to take them out. Because if they lose their ticket, we're not replacing it. They're getting one, and every lanyard has it. So we're not going to replace it. Please don't lose it. And also let them know that we're going to do door prizes during the afternoon break on the 3 seminar days. Okay. They have to be present to win. If they're not there, we're going to move on to another number. I mean, it's the only fair. We will drop the number back into the bucket if they're not there in case they show up for another drawing. Does that make sense? Is everybody with me so far? Okay, good. So after you find out if they're attending the dinner, they're going to get one admit one ticket. This might seem a little weird that we're doing this, but there's also another group there at the hotel. And I mean, I don't think anybody's going to try and jump in on our party, but you never know. And we're pretty full. So just give them one admit one ticket per person that you're checking in. Okay. If you look at the bears, you're going to see there's 5 of them. So they're going to get 5 of those admit one tickets.
Is this dinner is this the pre-cruise dinner or is this the Samba Grill dinner?
This is the pre-cruise dinner. This is for the pre-cruise dinner. Yeah, I should have clarified that. Sorry. We'll talk about the Samba Grill in a minute. But this is for the pre-cruise dinner at the hotel. And when we were looking at Susan Allman, you can see that she's attending the dinner, but she's not doing the buses. So basically that means, and she also doesn't have Samba Grill. So you're finished with Susan once you hand her her lanyard and her dinner ticket. Now you come to the bears and we got a different story because we have 5 of them all coming to the dinner. So they get 5 tickets and they're using our transportation. So that's where these envelopes come in that I've given you. Here's the bears. All their transportation tickets are inside of this envelope. So to get to the port, they're all on bus number 4. To get back to the airport, they're all on bus number 3. But you don't need to worry about their bus assignments. Just know to give them their envelopes. If for some reason they go, this isn't right, tell them to come and find me or Debbie, and we'll see what we can do to sort it out. I have been over all of these things, my husband and I especially, with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm hoping I haven't made any errors. People that want to be on buses together or hopefully will be on buses together. We have 6 this year, so that's a lot of buses to load up. So anyway, with the bears, they're going to get 5 lanyards, 5 tickets, and their transportation tickets. But then you'll also see that 2 of them have Samba Grill tickets. This is for Chris and Miriam. So I don't have those. Debbie has them. I don't have them to show you as a sample, but Debbie has them, and they're going to be in your blue basket. Also, her and I are going to get to the hotel a couple days early. So we'll have all of those with your basket. So you will also hand them their Samba Grill tickets, and they don't need the tickets to go. The Royal Caribbean's not requiring it. But the reason we're doing tickets is so that they'll know what day and time they're scheduled for. And also, they are to mention to the servers that Debbie is their group leader with the low carb cruise, so that they understand that we're part of the group. Is that right, Debbie? Okay. All right.
Yes, correct.
So there's something going to be maybe a little confusing with the Samba Grill tickets because some of our folks have different last names, and that's something I wanted to bring to your attention. We have, like the Berries and the Salisburys, 2 different last names. The way we're doing registration is Ken Berry's things are going to be in this A through B stuff. The Salisburys are going to be in the S line. So they're going to have to find the last name for S and go in line to get her things. And the reason I'm doing it that way is to keep down confusion. Make sure that we know everybody got what's coming to them. So Ken Berry's stuff. All right. All he's got in his ticket is his bus stuff. The Salisbury stuff will be in Nisha's bucket, but when they put it all together, they're all going to match. But this is to make sure that we get everybody and nobody gets confused as to who's picked up what. Let me put his back in order. I do my best to get everything alphabetical, but if for some reason it's not, I don't want to hear it. I might have messed up a little bit. So anyway, where was I? Give them their lanyards, ask them if they're attending or make sure they're attending the dinner, if they're riding our buses and going to Samba Grill. So with Chris Bayer's group, once you've done all of those things, you are finished with them. And then there's a little section right there that says, write down the name of the person who picked all of this up. So let's say Miriam came and got it. All you got to do is write in Miriam Bear, because a few minutes later, Chris might come walking up and go, hey, I'm coming to get my stuff. And you can just say, oh, never mind, Miriam's already gotten it. And so he can go find his wife and they'll have it. Okay, so just write it down. And that way we know who's gotten it. Let's see. Yes to buses, given their ticket. Yes to Samba Grill. All right. Once you've given them everything, you can check the box that you finished with this person, and you can tell them to go find Joe Hususki. Joe is here. Is he here? I don't see him. There you go. Hey, Joe. I got a big job for you, buddy. But they can go find Joe, and he's going to give them their magnets. We have, or Debbie's made these cool little magnets that can go on your door. They're magnetic.
Fine.
And there's two different kinds, so you can choose which one you want.
Or
I got somebody who's not muted. Anyway, so and we're doing one per cabin, one per stateroom. So we have a check sheet for that. There's about 176 staterooms. Joe, that's a lot. I know it sounds like a lot, so I'm probably going to get Shelton to sit at the table with you to help. So I got 2 check sheets for that. But anyway, they can decide which one they want. So once you get everybody checked in, just tell them to go find the guy that's doing the door magnets, and they can all go get their door magnet. Now we got the person, you've checked in Dr. Barry, for instance, and he says, well, I want to go pick up Nisha's things too. But her last name is Salisbury. So you say, well, I can't do that for you because I only have A through B. You need to go to the S table to pick up her things. And I don't want you, even if you've got nobody else in your line, I do not want you to get up from your spot and go to the S section and get those things for him. You might be interrupting another registrar who's doing their things. And by the time you get back to your table, you could have like a long line and people who are now helping themselves to your basket, which I really don't want you to leave unattended. Okay. Because I want to be able to check off all these boxes before we let the people go. Does anybody have any questions about the registration at all?
Kathy, this is just a question for me. Will there be a table, like an extra table,
Yes.
where people can pick up their t-shirts?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
We've got that set up.
Thank you.
The pre-cruise dinner is going to be a lot of fun. For our registrars, they have actually given us 8 tables. 2 of them will be put together. So A through B and C through D will be with each other. But each one of you is going to get your own 6-foot table to check people in. And I'm hoping this is going to be really efficient because we're going to have signs up above so people know where to find their last name. And then we have a separate table for the door magnets and a separate table for the t-shirts. Yeah. And should I tell them we got a photo booth area? Not really a photo booth, but we got little props. And so there's going to be a spot where people can stop and just take pictures and stuff before they go into the dinner. So we're hoping it's going to be a lot of fun. The other thing is you can see that I told you the alphabet's broken down into 8. And when you look at the people for the registration and the volunteer list, there's 9 names. Esther and Doug, this is where you 2 come in. I want one of you to decide who would like to do the registrar And the other one, I'm going to ask if you wouldn't mind helping guide people to the correct tables. You know, like, I don't know where my last name is. And, you know, you can say, yeah, right. Esther, Doug, either one of you can say, oh, the S table is over there at that end, and just kind of help keep the flow going. Sound good? Okay. All right. Man, Sandra, you're still going. She's outside and still going. All right, so that's registration. Hopefully everything's going to go smooth. I am going to ask that, you know, and I'll mention it again there when we get to your baskets, there's going to be chairs you can sit down. And I think Joe and Autumn that she's putting chairs at your tables as well. But once you get your baskets, I really want to make sure that you're the only ones going through them so that we can go through all the checks. I mean, that's the point of having the checklist. If somebody just helps themselves, then they might miss something and they may not get their bus tickets or whatever.
Okay, Paul has a question.
What time do we need?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
what time do we want to start? Is that 6 o'clock we need to be at the table, or what time do we need to be at the table?
I would say 6 o'clock is when check-in starts, but if you guys could get there about 5:45 or even 5:30.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't even think to
Yeah,
put that in
I
there.
think 5:30 is good to get you can go claim your table inside the dining room that you'd like for you. And then you can just be ready because people do start showing up very early. They're anxious, we're excited, and you can direct them, go have some fun at the photo booth. Go find your table, you know, different things like that.
Yeah, I agree. And like Debbie said, they will start to come early. They'll even be there at 5:30 when you show up at 5:30. Everybody's going to be milling about, but your baskets will not be at the table until you're physically there. So you don't have to worry about that. If you do need to use a restroom while we're doing, get somebody to come man your table, either me or Debbie or somebody. My husband Shelton will be around. Even, you know, Doug or Esther, because we got a floater with them. If you need somebody to help man the table to go use the restroom. But I just really advise that you don't leave it unattended because I want to make sure everybody gets their bus tickets. That's the big thing. Because this year, like I said, we have 6 buses and it's going to be really important that everything is assigned. So if our registrars are okay with, you know, what we've done, and we'll go over it again, obviously on the day of, but if you guys are okay and you feel like, you know, you understand, you can actually check out of the call if you want. Yes, Esther, go ahead.
Oh, it's her rebel husband that has a question.
Yes, Doug.
For whichever one of us is at the table, if you hand us at 5:45 our basket, are we allowed to start giving it out then, or do we tell them, no, you've got to wait until?
No, just get started. Because
Okay,
the quicker we
thank
get
you.
started, yeah, absolutely. The quicker we get started, the sooner these lines will, and really, I think with, you know, the way we got it broken down, it shouldn't be difficult at all. I mean, I really hope it's going to go very smooth, but yeah, we can get started. You get there at 5:30 and people start coming. Yeah, you can start. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Yes. Jackie, turn off, you're muted. That's okay. If
Okay.
you, there you go. Good.
Sherry and I believe are responsible for registration too. And then we're also responsible for loading bus. So do I
Yes,
stay
please.
on this call now?
Yes, please, because we are going to move on to our bus loading volunteers.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're more than welcome to stay, even if you're not a part of the bus. I just, you know, want you to know that if, you know, this part may not affect you, but, you know, you can continue to listen.
Well,
Everybody, go ahead.
Kathy, yeah, I also wanted to note, is everyone expected to, once we get on the boat on Sunday for swag bag stuffing? So I didn't know who wanted to do that, but before the
Yeah.
registration people dropped, I wanted to make
Oh,
sure
that's
people were
good.
reminded
That's
of that.
Very good.
Thank you, Autumn.
Autumn. Yes, absolutely. 7 o'clock, we have, again, if you were with us last year, you remember we would just put out a lot of fun swag while the speakers were talking. And then during breaks, we would have just like a swarm of people come to the back because they were all excited to see what the new swag was going to be. And it was quite a bit. And we're also doing door prizes different because with this many people, you can't have that many folks coming back every time because you'll never have your 15-minute break. So we are gonna preload swag bags first. And if we could get everyone to come to the conference center at 7 o'clock, we're just gonna do an assembly line style. We'll put your swag in front of you. We'll hand you the bag, you drop it in, move to the next person until we get all of our bags full. We have some fun decorating that we're going to be doing. We got to get the tables and chairs arranged to set up the conference like we want it. And Debbie with her broken foot is kind of going to be in charge of all of that, getting decorating and stuff done. She has a scooter for her to keep her leg off the ground, but we're going to see how that works. You can put somebody in charge, Debbie.
Yeah, we'll see how that all works. I'm trying to
Yeah.
stay down this week. But yeah, if you
Yeah,
can
that's
join
good.
us in the conference room, 5 o'clock or 5 dinners at
7.
5, conference room at
Mhm.
7. We'll be I've got some of my daughters-in-laws that'll be helping with decorations, some of the others, and then just loading all the swag bags. And it's going to be exciting and fun. I'm excited to have all of you meet my sons, my daughters, my grandchildren.
Some of them.
Some of our grandchildren, yes. And
Is that Dawn
It's-
in the background?
yeah. It's gonna be a fun time. And again, we so appreciate your help. So Kathy will go on and explain the bus situation here. It's a big job, loading 300 plus people onto the 6 buses. So there's Dawn.
Paul
Say
had
hi,
a
Dawn.
question. Hey, Dawn. Paul, you had a question?
Yes, where's the conference room?
It's
On the
deck
boat.
3,
Deck
front,
3?
deck 3 forward,
And that's what it's called, conference room?
conference center.
Conference Center.
Mhm. And
It's either
3
deck,
forward.
yeah, it's deck 3 forward
Mhm.
or deck 4. No.
It's either 3 or 2. That's
Esther?
probably.
Yes, Esther.
Yeah, I have a question for the pre-cruise dinner.
Mhm.
Do you need help setting up the tables?
We
Fire-
have,
Voting.
yeah, we have volunteers for that. Becky Golson, I don't know if you're,
Okay,
yeah, Becky's been on the cruise before. She's also been on the committee. And so she's got a team set up of, there's more volunteers. And they're gonna help get the pre-cruise dinner area set up and decorated
Okay.
and all that fun. And guys, we got Tight Jeans singing for us again. They were so much fun. Do you remember Tight
Mhm.
Jeans? They did the what was it? The one that Rachel danced to? Love Shack. It was so much fun. It was a blast.
Okay,
Okay, so
we're,
go
yeah,
ahead.
let's move on here and get this bus done. We're gonna run out of our
Yeah,
freezing time.
because we got 40 minutes. Okay, so for our bus volunteers, the buses start to arrive around 9 is what our guy told us. And so by 8:15, I think, I would like the volunteers who are helping load buses to be, there's if I remember that hotel correctly, there's like a large foyer area as we're walking back to where the buses are going to come. It's behind the hotel, but there was a large foyer area. And if we could get the people who are responsible for bus 1 and 2, and you're going to get your assignments at the pre-cruise dinner, which one is bus 1 and bus 2. I can tell you right now, this is bus 1, and you can see in yellow who my folks are. I think that's Paul and Robin. Yeah. So this is bus 1, and this is what your check sheet's going to look like. Oh, the names that are in blue, those are speakers. So if you have a speaker on your bus, their name is in blue. And I honestly tried to make sure there was a speaker on every bus because everybody likes to be around the speakers. But we've made these signs, and they're going to be on a pole. The poles are already packed up. But so each bus will have their own sign. And the reason I put low carb group on here is because we're going to use these same signs when we leave the port. And we have actually had people that go, oh, you guys are going to the airport? And they'll get in line with us, but they're not part of our group. So we're going to make sure that we keep everybody separate, that this is the low carb cruise group. So you just kind of hold up your sign, and you can even hand it to somebody who's in line if you're tired of holding it, so that you can have, people will know this is where we're lining up for bus number 1 or where we're lining up for bus number 2. And we'll try to, bus numbers 1 and 2 obviously are going to line up towards the front, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 towards the back. And we've even tried to stagger the times on the tickets by 15 minutes. So the first group we've mentioned for 1 and 2 to try to be there by 9 o'clock, and then the other 9:15 and the others 9:30. And then, you'll have 2 people. One of you will just kind of make sure, use your check sheet, and it's on a clipboard. Use your check sheet to kind of see who's already there. Make sure they keep their luggage with them. I know it's going to be kind of hard to line up with your luggage with them, but everybody needs to keep an eye on their own luggage. You don't need to be responsible for that. Once it's time to go towards the bus, then you can take your whole group outside. And if it's not raining and the weather's not too bad, 1 and 2 can actually wait outside. We'll see how that goes on the morning of. But you'll check your people off, and then the other can kind of help find people. The one who's not doing the checking off can go, oh, you're with us, go to bus number 1. We're lining up over here. And then once everybody's together and getting on the bus, we want to load the luggage in. So one of our volunteers will kind of help do that to make sure it gets done. But you don't have to be the only one loading luggage. My husband's going to be helping. Debbie's got some sons and grandsons and stuff that are going to be helping. So we have a lot of people who are going to help us get the luggage in the underbelly of the bus. Yes, Jackie, unmute.
Okay, so my question is, I've got this person at the top of the list right here, and they've got their luggage. Do I go ahead and make sure with them that their luggage goes under the belly and then let them go on board?
Debbie, what do you think?
If they have their luggage right there, ready to be loaded in, they've eyeballed it, it's on the right bus, they can just leave it there and go ahead and let them on the bus. But we just don't want them leaving luggage and then taking off somewhere. We've had that happen in the past.
Just
so,
the reason I'm saying is last year with me.
Yeah.
Last year with me, we put the luggage right there by the belly, and then we went and got on the bus. And then just before we left, my luggage was still sitting outside the bus. And
Okay.
So I thought,
I think that's going to be the role also of one of our volunteers. One of them's going to be checking off the people, and we want the second one to be in charge of making sure that luggage gets. Does that make sense?
yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Make sure that luggage actually gets. It's not so much that I want them to be the ones loading it. They just need to make sure it gets there. Okay, that's a good question, Jackie. Thank you. We're trying to do bigger and better this time than we have in the past. We don't want things to get left behind, especially luggage. Not a good thing. So anyway, that's how we're going to handle the buses. We're going to get everybody checked off. Let me look at my little notes here for bus, because you guys have some fun responsibilities.
Paul,
Did I even hit that one?
Paul, you have a question?
Once
ahead.
everybody's on the bus, do we get on that same bus?
Yes.
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 And then as soon as the luggage is loaded and
Yes.
everybody's checked off, we can
Yep.
go to the port?
You can
Yes.
head to the port. Head to the port. And I guess
Okay.
I didn't take out my notes for the thing. But while you're on the bus, let me see if I can find my notes. Hold the phone. That's right. So, while you're on the bus, prior to arriving at the terminal, one of you, and let me see, I'm going to go ahead and print this because I don't want to I want to see faces while I'm doing it. I didn't mean to not print this, but one of you can go around and collect tip. We're going to tip our driver, and we're going to tip our porters. And generally, as a rule, what we do for the porters is usually you'll see one that appears to be in charge. So that you may have 3 or 4 porters, but you just give the money to one porter, the one who appears to be in charge, and say, please distribute this between all of the helpers. All right. And the reason we have our volunteers or the people who are on the bus doing this is because we found that it really helps to collect the money, because sometimes people would just get off the bus and not even think about it. Okay, now that I got my thing printed. Okay, so go around My husband was really funny last year and you don't have to be creative, but he was, especially when he was collecting money for our bus driver. He said, so now John here, he's a really good guy. You know, yesterday he helped a little old lady across the street. And last week he adopted this cute little puppy. So anyway, he said all these cute things about, he doesn't even know the man, never met him. But he was just trying to encourage everyone to, you know, consider your driver and give him a nice tip. So you can also mention to everybody while you're on the bus, which means you kind of have to stand up and turn around and look at everyone. But you can mention to them that this might be a good time if you have a signal to watch the safety videos that Royal Caribbean has, because you have to, you can't watch them until 8 o'clock the day of the cruise. So if anybody watches it the day before or a week before, you're still going to have to watch them again in order for it to register that you have watched the safety video. And then you can let them know that once they're on board, they'll need to find their muster station and check in. So they have to watch the video and then find their muster station, and the muster station will actually be on their CPAS card that they get. So you also want to remind everyone what they're going to need as they get off the bus. They need to have their ID handy and their set sail pass handy. The other thing that's really important, and Jackie, this is kind of that luggage thing again, but it's really important that you tell everyone when you get off the bus, before you walk to the terminal, you need to eyeball that your luggage has actually come off of the bus and is now in the hands of the porters. You don't actually have to see it being taken, carted away over towards the ship, but you do need to make sure that we didn't leave anything on the bus. So you ask everyone that once you're comfortable that your luggage is now off the bus, you can go to the port, to the terminal, and do all of your check-ins. And they don't have to go with you for check. You don't have to go with anyone for the check-in. They're on their own at that point. Okay. So they have to just go towards the terminal, then leave their ID handy, and they can do all their check-ins themselves. Tell them we'll see you again at dinner, which is at 5 o'clock. Okay. Does it make sense? Did I get it all, Debbie? You think? You hope? I hope.